I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good morning, Jay Soderberg. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
It is a wonderful, beautiful morning. It's a fantastic day, and I'm excited to be talking with you.
Hey, I am as well. Well, Jay, please do tell us, which of your talents is responsible for us meeting?
It must be my podcasting talents. It's either that or my really good looks.
Yeah, let's do the good looks. Yeah, most definitely the podcasting talent. I was talking to Jonathan Strickland of the How Stuff Works podcast right before you came on, and it was really great to understand how podcasters love and support. So tell us about your podcast, Jay.
Well, I have quite the long journey, but the podcast that I'm doing right now is called Next Fan Up. Which is a NFL talk show featuring 32 different co-hosts and myself.
Wow. So all right. So Next Fan Up podcast is available on all mediums, yeah?
Oh yes, it's available iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Aha Radio, anywhere great podcasts are heard.
So where did the inspiration come for doing this particular model of podcasting?
Well, I've been podcasting now for over 13 years. I originally started.
Let's stop here for a second. Wow. So I had a 7-year-old, which was Sarah, and hey, congratulations. I'm honored.
Thank you. Well, I started way back in the day at ESPN. I was the main producer responsible for the ESPN podcasting platform with my fingerprints on over 26 original podcasts that came out of ESPN back in the day. And then I left ESPN about 3 years ago to join Blog Talk Radio and become the head of content here. And I've been helping podcasters, monetize their shows and create better content ever since.
Wow. What a journey. Wow. So, even for those listening, who did you learn that skill from, the skill of podcasting?
It's funny because I guess I could say I'm mostly self-taught, but the real answer to that question is Adam Curry and Leo Laporte. Those were the two guys when I was originally called into my boss's office and told, we got to do podcasting. And I said, what is that? And they said, we don't know either. You'll figure it out. Adam Curry and Leo Laporte were the two guys at that time that when I looked up, what is a podcast, those were the answers. And so I listened to what they were doing and stole a lot of what they were doing and applied it to sports podcasts.
It would be intriguing to connect with them and have a conversation with them, see if I could get them on, right? Them being that's over a decade now, right? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would be great to have a conversation with them. But why will you continue to repeat this skill? You've been in the industry for quite a while, and you've definitely seen the ups and downs. Why will you continue?
Oh, I love it. It was, when I was first introduced to it, and finally understood exactly what it was. This is exactly why I enjoy entertaining people. Ever since I was a kid, that was sort of my dream, is to entertain people from an audio standpoint, not even from a visual standpoint. I love TV and movies and comic books and all that good stuff. But even when I was a kid, I used to play Legos with my brother and my stepsister and record the stories we'd make with our Legos on cassette tapes, right? So I've always been an audio guy, loving the theater of the mind, and it's podcasting, I think, brings that theater of the mind even closer to your audience. You have a much more engaged audience in podcasting than you do in any other medium.
Now direct us to the best place if we want to start a podcast and your service is available, right? So let's say I want to get this 13-year-old podcaster experience. Where do I go for that?
Well, you can go to blogtalkradio.com. We have a number of different plans that you can sign up for, including an upload-only plan. So you don't have to use the online studio that is provided at Blog Talk Radio. And then once you sign up, there's monetization services, marketing services, and of course, you can always reach out to me directly and get my insights if you're looking for that kind of help.
That sounds good. Well, Jay, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Consistently over the last 3 years, I've raised a family. That's where a lot of my time has been spent in the last 3 years. I have a 13-year-old boy who's about to turn 14 and an 11-year-old girl. And of course, I've been married to my wife. We just celebrated 17 years of marriage this past.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's her name? What's her name?
Benet.
Hey, Benet. Hey, Benet. Happy anniversary. All the way from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, I don't know if I want her listening to this because she's got smooth tones and she's going to be like, hi, yeah.
All right. Oh, gee. Well, I guess the way you've gotten to 17 is by protecting her ears, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, how does it make you feel raising a family?
I mean, it's my life. That's sort of, it's what gives me meaning and gives me purpose. And I couldn't imagine, spending 17 years with anyone else, and certainly couldn't imagine my life without my children. So, everything I do is for them. And, I look forward to doing more for them as we continue to grow and evolve in this ever-changing world.
Yeah, tell us how you feel.
How I feel. Well,
how you feel about that? How you feel about the family model? Yeah.
I mean, I feel happy. There's nothing more priceless than family and the love of a family and the love that we share amongst each other. So it's it makes me happy.
Well, I do have a family as well, and I know where there's happiness, there's pain, right? The two go together in family life. Most definitely, the happiness is worth the pain. Suggest to someone listening why they should do what you've done by really, just being consistent with family life.
Well, I mean, if you have family life, then you have support. And as a podcaster, you'll find that a lot of the things that you do are alone. And you're looking for that support, and no one's going to support you better than your family. So having your family supporting you will ultimately help you in your podcasting goals.
Yeah, it does. Amazing audience. We are live with Jay Soderberg. Do check him out on his podcast, right? He's a co-host there. Next Fan Up podcast. Jay, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with warm, beautiful blue Caribbean water. Jay, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Man, I wish it was warm blue Caribbean water. That's for sure. My earliest childhood memory would have to be the time I was, it's a scary moment, but I was about 5 years old, and my dad was doing some woodwork down in the basement. And I was watching him, and like he normally does, and he was working on a table saw, and he made the unfortunate error of reaching across the saw to move a piece of wood, and the unfortunate happened. His fingers got sliced off, and I mean, it was a horrific scene, and I was out of my mind, and my mom, of course, was trying to console me. And unfortunately, the one she needed to console was my dad, who had just lost a couple fingers. That was a while ago, man. And that memory sticks in my head, as I think it would stick in pretty much anyone's head.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Why do you think it did stick that much? I mean, It's fascinating that your mom is comforting you while he's bleeding his life out, right?
Right. It's well, I think that particular moment, I mean, because it's such a traumatic incident, is the main reason why it's stuck in my head for pretty much my entire life. But um it's one of those things where it is interesting to see, which memories stand out the most to you as you get older. I'm now at 43, and that's a memory I had when I was 5, so it's almost 40 years old.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting time. I don't remember what anyone was wearing, but it was clearly in the 70s. So I'm guessing there were some bell bottoms involved, and some really bad hair.
Yeah. Well, Jay, you're definitely the fun guy, right? Like, well, I mean, three letter names, right? So Jayfun, it all connects, right?
There you go. That's
Alright.
that's it.
But Jay, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Sure.
I love the integration of family life and family life. I jokingly said, hey, where there is family, there's pain and there's happiness, right? And I love the idea that despite the dangers that surround what your father was doing, and an accident did occur, it so signifies what occurs in family life. And you being intentional with family life surrounds very similar scenarios that would occur. But I think having the lessons that come after it is so important. And I'm not sure if you are doing that, but I do hope that is something that connects from that memory.
Oh yeah. I think, mom taking care of the children, and dad sort of, for lack of a better phrase, toughening it out.
Yeah.
It's certainly something that is stuck in the way that I sort of try and move forward with my own family, and not so much that I'm not comforting the children. Obviously, I try and comfort them as much as possible, but mom is definitely the one that that's better at that job than I am.
Yeah, yeah. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Oh my, when I was 12 years old. So we're talking 1986. It's probably going to be Thriller, right? Is that when Thriller came out?
Yeah, it's good. It's good when it's the first thing that pops in your mind. Is Thriller the first thing? Is it the Thriller album you're speaking of, or?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
was definitely a big Michael Jackson fan
yeah, I can see you
when the
busting a
Thriller
move.
album came
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Oh, please.
What?
I bust moves all over the place, but they're not necessarily moves people want to see.
Well, tell me one song that sticks out.
Thriller. I
Yeah.
mean that
Oh,
that
Thriller the
video.
song.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
Thriller the
Cool.
song right from that album. I mean that video,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
was huge on MTV.
Yeah. It
I know
was.
people don't know what MTV is anymore. It's certainly something different than what I grew up with, but watching that Michael Jackson video as sort of like a mini movie. It was life changing, and it's again one of those things where I always got involved in sort of the theater of the mind, and incorporating a song and the lyrics of the song with moving pictures, was something that hadn't been done really to the degree that it was being done at that particular time in our history, in media. And it was something that I was definitely attracted to.
Yeah, he's connecting the dots, amazing audience. He's connecting the dots. Well, Jay, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Jay, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I don't know if I've chosen anyone specifically, but I will say yes.
All right, now you said you're married, you said you have a son and a daughter. Do you believe in God?
I'm not. I was raised Catholic, but I'm not really a practicing person.
All right,
But I'd say I'm agnostic at best.
all right. Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Oh, most certainly.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Unfortunately, yes, I do.
All right. What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Well, because my job is in podcasting, and I am, my screen time is a lot of time on the computer for sure.
Yeah. Well, G, after having 1,001 conversations in 3 months, I came up with a workbook, and the name of it is Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. And as you dig deeper, it's your own unique real statement, your mission. If you had to share with us, Jay, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Jay Soderberg, what would you say that is?
Well, I would have to go with a quote that I said a few years ago at a podcasting conference that has been quoted since and attributed to me, and that is focus on building your own badass clubhouse, and people will want to be a part of that club because it's so badass.
Jay Soderberg, hey, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Continue to be amazing, and if there's a way that I could stay here in these warm, beautiful blue waters, that would be fantastic. Is that possible?
Yeah, you could definitely stay here, Jay. Well, hey, Jay, it was a great pleasure. Thank you so much for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.